Ah, I think we're good. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Beardo Cleaver, and welcome to part two of my CD collection tour. I had to cut the last one short, the part one, because my battery was running low on my phone, but I made sure to charge it. It's at 100% right now, 110%. And let's continue. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to start from where the battery died last time. So that would have been Operation Ivy. Yeah, so let's get her going. To turn the camera around again here so you guys can see. Pull up a chair, get a cold drink. Okay, so the battery started getting fucky last time at around Operation Ivy. So there we go, Operation Ivy right in the center there. I think, yeah, it's just like self-titled. Operation Ivy from Oakland, California, I believe. Featuring Tim Armstrong, now of Rancid, and some other guys. Classic kind of, not really pop punk. Yeah, they were kind of pop punk, kind of ska-ish. There it is. Not Scottish, but ska-ish. Under that, Orchid, The Mouth of Madness, and I think Capricorn is what it's called. This one here. No, the Zodiac Sessions. Look at that. They are like kind of doomy, very much in the Black Sabbath vein. I think they're from San Francisco. Below that we have Oscar Peterson Trio, Night Train, very classic jazz. I think Oscar Peterson's a piano player. That's another album that I want to listen to more of. Ozzy Osbourne, famous Prince of Darkness. We got Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. These are my favorite Ozzy solo records, like a lot of people, solely because of the fact that Randy Rhoads is playing guitar on them. One of my favorite guitarists. And then we have the one with Zakk Wylde on it. Zakky Wylde, No More Tears, and The Ozman Cometh. This is one of the first CDs I bought as well. That's just like a compilation spanning pretty much his entire career up to like the Genesis, not the band Genesis, but his start up until when was that? The mid '90s it came out, something like that. Pallbearer, recent straight up doom band from Arkansas, I think. We have their first album, Sorrow and Extinction, and then what's the second one called? Foundations of Burden. That's right, and then Heartless. I saw these guys here in the city about a year ago, and it was a very intense show, very heartfelt, very sad, because they played a venue where a good friend of mine, his band played a CD release show at that venue, and it just brought back memories of him and how he's not here anymore. Below that, Palms. I think this is a band with Chino Moreno from the Deftones and some other guys. I've only listened to that once as well. It's kind of like the Deftones. It's kind of like dreamscape metal, I guess you could say. Below that we have Glam Terra. No, it's Pantera. Again, one of my favorite bands. Pretty much their entire major label discography. We have their last album, Reinventing the Steel, Official Live 101 Proof, The Great Southern Trendkill, Far Beyond Driven, Vulgar Display of Power, and Cowboys from Hell. Dimebag Darrell. I'll show you my tattoo here. That's my Dimebag Darrell tattoo. One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite guitarists. Very, very unique guitarist. Lots of squeals, lots of like pyrotechnics, not like actual fireworks, but it might as well have been fireworks because he's a very animated character, or he was. Below that, it's just a compilation, Pantera, the Far Beyond Driven, or Far Beyond the Great Southern Cowboys Vulgar Hits. It's just a compilation, greatest hits. Then we have Pentagram, Relentless, legendary, one of the originators of what we call doom metal, featuring the troubled Bobby Liebling on vocals. Then some Periphery. I'm not a big fan of Periphery. I'm surprised I still have those CDs. I want to get rid of them. I'm not really into the gent as a whole, but I could admire the musicianship. But I'm not a big fan of a lot of the whiny vocals that bands like that produce. And we have some Pink Floyd. Love the Pink Floyd. We have the early years, 1967 to 1972, which is like a greatest hits of their early stuff. That's the cover right there. The Endless River, which is, they say technically the last studio album, but I don't consider it that. It's just like, it's mostly instrumental, chill music. And then A Foot in the Door, which is like a compilation of their best songs. Then Pinkish Black, Bottom of the Morning. This is a drum and synth duo. Very, very interesting. I saw these guys live with, who was it? Fucking, I forget. I want to say Royal Thunder? Yeah, it was Royal Thunder. And these guys, Pinkish Black, they sound like robot alien invasion from a UFO. It was awesome. Pirates of Darkwater. I think this is the Sword side project, or the band that some of the guys from the Sword were in before. So it's a bit more sludgy and kind of different note choices than the Sword. I kind of prefer this to the Sword, actually. And Iggy Pop, Post-Pop Depression. I think it's his last one, or one of his last ones. It's a very good record. It's kind of indie rockish, featuring Josh Homme on instruments. Kind of reminds me of Black Star by David Bowie, in that they came out the same time, I think, more or less, and I was listening to them around the same time. Very interesting rock and roll. And we got Popol Vuh, straight up prog rock band, progressive rock from, I think, Italy. I want to say, or Greece, somewhere around there. I know Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth is a big fan of those guys. I think he uses one of their songs as an intro song. Then we got some Primitive Man, very heavy, very claustrophobic doom metal. Like some of the most dissonant doom metal I've ever heard in my life. These guys played with Weed Eater when they played here about a year or two ago. I was front row. It was loud as fuck. Primus, Sailing the Seas of Cheese. Primus sucks. That's all I could say. No, the Primus is awesome. Love Les Claypool's bass playing. Protest the Hero. Again, vocally, these guys kind of fall into the same category as Periphery with the whiny vocals. I like the musicianship. I just can't get past the whiny vocals. Queen, A Night at the Opera, featuring the hit Bohemian Rhapsody, one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song ever. And then Queens of the Stone Age. This is pretty much their entire discography too. We got the self-titled one, Rated R, Songs for the Deaf, Lullabies to Paralyze, Era Vulgaris, Like Clockwork, and Villains. And then we have B-sides, one-offs, and other rarities. Of course, I kind of prefer their earlier stuff when they were more stoner rock, when they still listened, or they still sounded like Caius, I guess, a little bit. But it's all a good rock and roll. Then Radiohead with OK Computer, Kid A, and Like Rainbows, or In Rainbows. Really like OK Computer. It's like a modern classic. Just the amount of like instrumentation and density of the music and catchiness, and incorporating electronic elements with traditional rock and roll instrumentation. Yeah. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Richie Blackmore, the celebrated guitarist of Deep Purple, writer of the famous Smoke on the Water riff. Got Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, self-titled, the first one, Rainbow Rising, and Long Live Rock and Roll. Then we have Rammstein with Herzeleid, Sehnsucht, Mutter, Reise, Reise, und Made in Germany. Yeah. Rammstein, they probably put on the best show that I've ever seen in my life. It put Kiss to shame. It probably had 100 times more pyrotechnics than Kiss. And the gap between the stage and the audience at a Rammstein show is about half a football field, because they don't want any in the audience getting burned or killed as you would at like a Death Clock show. at a Rammstein show, understandably. Then below that, we have Ramones. I'm surprised they only have one Ramones CD. It's their toughest hits, Loud and Fast. I want all the Ramones. Give me all the Ramones CDs. That's what I want. And then, top of the pile here, we have Red Fang. Really cool band from Oregon. I think Portland, Oregon. I'm only missing the first album here. If I could zoom in, and not zoom in, but focus. There we go. Murder the Mountains. Whales and Leeches. Focus. And then their last one, Only Ghosts. There he goes, kind of. Then we have a Relapse Records Extreme Music Sampler, featuring a bunch of Relapse Records bands from like the mid-2000s. I got this free when I ordered a bunch of CDs from their online catalog. Fucking focus, there we go. Almost. Below that, the yellow CD, Richard Hell and the Voidoids, Blank Generation. I think this is Richard Hell's first CD. There it goes. It's kind of like, it's pop, or not pop punk, but just punk, kind of jangly punk. Not as saturated sounding as the Ramones. More like the Stooges, I would say. Ringworm, Snake Church, another album I got from the Relapse Records grab bag box. Haven't listened to it yet. I think they're kind of black metal-ish. I don't know. Let's check it out. Ringworm. Yeah, it is Relapse Records. I don't know what that is. Oh, I almost forgot. Have an amendment to make since Sleep One. I got 2 more CDs since part 1. I got Prince, Purple Rain, and Sleep. The Science is the new Sleep. Awesome CD. Tons of awesome riffs. If you like Black Sabbath and Iomi worship, this is the CD to get right here. Past Richard Hell, we got River Black. I think this has some guys from other bands. This is not a super group, but kind of like a side project or whatever. It's just good kind of death metal-y stuff. Not bad stuff. And The Roots, Jimmy Fallon's house band. I haven't listened to this one yet either. Do you want more? I think it's like R&B stuff. I can't wait to listen to it though, because I'm a fan of all different kinds of music. And I want to listen to it. Maybe tonight. Past that, we have Rush, Clockwork Angels. This is their last one that they put out. And I have box sets somewhere. Oh yeah, down here. I'll show you soon after some other CDs. But I have a whole bunch of other Rush too. Then we have Russian Circles, Geneva. This one came out maybe 10 years ago. I think one of the songs from this album was used in the Dead Space 2 soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken. Very good, atmospheric, instrumental, kind of post-metal stuff. It's good stuff. And Sag, Delusions of Grandeur. I think Sag is from Sweden or Finland, Norway, one of those countries. In the vein of like, Mastodon type stuff. Good stuff. Santana, Abraxas. Kind of Latin-infused, kind of funky rock and roll with some smooth guitar playing. No pun intended. Sepultura, legendary thrash metal band from Brazil, featuring Max Cavalera. We have Chaos AD. And Roots. Roots, Bloody Roots. There we go. Shrine Builder. This I would call a super group, featuring Scott Kelly from Neurosis, Al Cisneros from Ohm and Sleep, Dale Crover from the Melvins, and Wino from Everything. And it's just straight up doom stoner metal. It's awesome. Paul Simon, Graceland. This is a really interesting album. It sounds really worldly, and by what I mean by that, it sounds like it was influenced by his travels to like Africa and Brazil, and it's got a lot of like not native, but like, how do I say this? Not ancient, but you know what I mean, like non-traditional rock and roll music and instruments and instrumentation and arrangements, and it's very dense, very interesting to listen to. Then below that, I don't know if you could read that, it says Slayer! We have Show No Mercy, Hell Awaits, Rain and Blood, South of Heaven, Seasons in the Abyss. Another legendary big four of the thrash metal bands. Very evil. Oh yes, very evil. And Sleep, Dope Smoker. That makes two. Hey, even the, I just noticed that. Look at that, the font is the same. If you could see that. Zoom, there we go, focus. Focus, damn you, focus. Oh, I see it, I hope you can see it too, but the font on the spine is the same. Amazing. Yeah, Dope Smoker is a famous, like, 1 hour plus long song that they recorded over the course of like 3 or 4 years, or they wrote it over the course of 3 or 4 years, and the record label refused to release it, so they broke up. But now they're back together. Sludge. These guys are kind of a gimmick band. All their songs are about slugs and worshiping slugs, and how the slugs overlords will rule us all one day. This is really good technical blackened death metal. Yeah, with cool vocal effects too. Really like melodic, very trippy. Highly recommended. Smashing Pumpkins. This is one of my classic CDs. I had it since high school. This reminds me of high school and band trips and road trips, and when Much Music still used to play videos and all that good stuff. Soylent Green. Haven't listened to this one much, but I hear they're a legendary sludge band from New Orleans as well. Sonic Youth. Goo. Same story. Haven't listened to that yet, but I want to. And then the Sound City soundtrack, directed by Dave Grohl. It's got a bunch of songs featuring a bunch of like famous rock and roll musicians like Paul McCartney, Trent Reznor, the guy from Cheap Trick, you know, the guy, Mr. Trick. No, I don't want to end the stream. Fuck that. Below that, Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger. Classic grungy band from Seattle, Washington. And then their last one, King Animal. You can barely see it there. Steely Dan, Aja. This is just good up rock and roll. No, I don't want to end the stream again. With some kind of bluesy, funky stuff. Classic rock. Steve Miller Band, Book of Dreams, same thing. The Stooges. A lot of people say that they're the first punk band. I disagree. But good songs nonetheless. And Funhouse. And then we have the Stranger Things soundtrack. Very cool synthwave. Instrumental synthwave from the TV show Stranger Things. Now there's some like box sets before I move on to the next rows. And I'll show you guys on this side here. We have... I take it out. Black Sabbath box set featuring the complete albums 1970 to 78. It's got the first self-titled one, Paranoid, Master of Reality, Volume 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Sabotage, Technical Ecstasy, and Never Say Die. Essential albums, essential rock and roll heavy metal. And then the Doors, a collection. I'm not a big Doors fan, but I wanted to have it, so I bought it. And it's got all the albums in like slipcases. No frills, just the albums. We have the Doors, Strange Days, Waiting for the Sun, Soft Parade, Morrison Hotel, and L.A. Woman. Still, it's good classic rock stuff. And then, this is kind of a bonus disc that I got with my LP copy of Live at Brixton Mastodon. Yeah. So it's just like the concert in video form. And here, another Black Sabbath box set. It is The Rules of Hell. It's featuring... It's got the albums with Ronnie James Dio, actually. It's got Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules, Live at Last, and Dehumanizer. See if I could pop it out. A little dusty, that's okay though. Yeah, there they are. You can kind of see the spine there. Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules, Live Evil. That's a palindrome. Then we have Dehumanizer, and we also have Storybook Gamer. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. How's it going, buddy? I'm going to turn the camera around just for a second. Hi. How's it going, buddy? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. How's work? I haven't even done Beardo Reads the Bible yet today. If I can get the cover back on here. Gotta flip it. Gotta bop it. You gotta flip it. There we go. That goes there. That goes back on top there. Alright, I might have to sit down for this one. Okay, here's my Led Zeppelin pile. You can see that we have pretty much all the Led Zeppelin. We have the first one, second one, which is called 1, 2, 3, 4, Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti. And these are all like the remasters that came out a few years ago. You're eating some eggs and toast, good timing. Oh man, I love breakfast foods at non-breakfast times of day. What kind of eggs? What style of eggs? That sounds so good, man. Yeah, after Physical Graffiti, we have the soundtrack from the film Song Remains the Same, and Presents, and then their last one, the last real one, In Through the Outdoor. And Coda, which is more or less like a collection of B-sides, outtakes, and then the BBC collection, and then How the West Was Won, and then Celebration Day. This Celebration Day is, I think it's a Blu-ray CD set of their reunion show that they did. Fuck, it must be 10 years ago now. I think it was 2010. Pretty much the whole band reunion except for John Bonham, of course, who passed away in 1980. Sunny Side Up, my man. Oh, wow. I never really had Sunny Side Up. I usually take them like scrambled or over easy. Yeah. Here's my Green Day pile. Green Day is the reason I started playing guitar. If you know me, you've heard that story. But yeah, Basket Case specifically. I'm ashamed to say I don't have the album Dookie here. I think I gave it to my sister. But I should buy a new one. So we have the first album. It's like a compilation album. 1039 Smooth Out Slappy Hours. Kerplunk. The first album with Trey Cool, the drummer. Insomniac. Nimrod. Warning. And then Demolition, which is like demo versions of the songs that were released on Uno, Dos, and Tre. And then Heart Like a Hand Grenade, which is like a documentary of the making of American Idiot. And their latest one, Revolution Radio. Got to the side right there. Over here, we have my tool collection. Take it out here so you can see it. Not like my saw and my chainsaw and my hammer. It's the band tool. We have Undertow, Enema, Lateralis, and their last one, 10,000 Days, which was incidentally released 10,000 days ago today. I kid you not. It's about time they released a new album. What fucking gives, Maynard? But it's good like progressive rock, chill stuff. Each album is like a journey that you put on just to chill out and go on a trip. Okay, I'm going to sit down on the floor just because this is really low. Hopefully the stream doesn't turn off. My phone is really hot. Okay, get up there. It's really dark. What is that? Oh, it's Sun. I don't want it in the stream. No. Sun, legendary drone band. We have Black One, Monoliths, and Dimensions. And then Survive. Yeah, these this is like the full band. It contains the same guys that did the Stranger Things soundtrack. This is like their full band. Some more very awesome synthwave stuff. Sweet. Desolation Boulevard. Sweet, famous for the songs Ballroom Blitz and Fox on the Run. If you've watched Wayne's World, you know those songs. And Detroit Rock City and all that good stuff. Then we have The Sword with Apocryphon and High Country. I'm more of a fan of the earlier stuff, but this is still kind of good riff rock stuff. After that, Tangerine Dream, Phaedra. Tangerine Dream, I think, is a band from Europe. Very synth heavy, kind of chill, dreamscape music type stuff. And I want to listen to more of that. Temple of the Dog, legendary early 90s band featuring members of Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, I think. This is like their one-off. Torch, very fun, very melodic, very heavy band from Florida, I think. Very sludgy, but very catchy. What's the best Sun album in my opinion? Oh man, that's a good question. I would say Black One. That's like the quintessential Sun album in my opinion. Yeah. Or the latest Dojo Cobra album. I kid. But yeah, Black One. I'm gonna readjust here for a second. There we go. Below that, we have the Tragically Hip. They're tragically not around anymore. The frontman, Gord Downey, passed away of, I think, brain cancer. Pretty recently, I think just a few months ago. An institution in Canada rock and roll. Songs about Canadiana and very, very poetic lyrics. Just straight up rock and roll. It's like, kind of like Pearl Jam, I guess, if looking for a comparison musically, but more kind of weirdish in a way. If you don't know Tragically Hip, check him out. Tribes of Neurot. This is a kind of side project from the guys of Neurosis. This is straight up just atmospheric noise. And this particular album is, I think, Silver Blood Transmissions or Transmutions. Let's see here. What does it say? Silver Blood Transmission. Yeah, this is meant to be played in conjunction with their album Through Silver and Blood. So like you put one on one sound system and put this one on the other sound system, press play at the same time, and they're supposed to complement each other. Like, hey, that's a nice hat. Thank you. You smell nice. Like that kind of compliment. Below that, we have True Widow. There it is right there. Saw it for half a second. Another band or another CD that I got from the Relapse Records grab bag. Haven't listened to that at all yet. I don't know what they're like. The album is called A Volgare. I think that's Italian. And then below that, the Joshua Tree, U2. I'm not a big U2 fan, but I like the song Where the Streets Have No Name. I just like the intro, so I bought the CD because of that. And then we have some Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, some occult rock, kind of in the vein of Black Sabbath, more fuzzy, occultish lyrics about, sacrifices and drinking blood and orgies and stuff like that. Very, very, it's not super heavy death metal or whatever, it's just kind of melodic, heavy rock. Next band, I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's like UFO Mammoth or UFO Mammoth. Right there, you see it. Oro Opus Primum, and Oro Opus Alter. Kind of a 2 CD set on Neurot Records. And if you're familiar with Neurot, you kind of know what they sound like. I think each of these CDs are like one song each. And each one is like 50 minutes or so. You say True Widow is great. Oh, really? What do they sound like? Maybe I should listen to it tonight. Let's check it out, actually. That's the cover. Relapse. Okay. Songs Back, Shredder, The Urgist, FWTSLTM. It's like Days of the Week. The Trapper and the Trapped. OOTPV, Entheogen, To All That Belong, or To All That He Along, Sante, Gray Erasure, there it is, and What Finds Me. That's the songs. Maybe I'll put it on tonight. Yeah, UFO Mammoth. Kind of dense, mantra-like atmospheric post-metal stuff. Some more stuff I want to listen to. If I'll focus again there for a second. There's one song I heard by them on a Riding Easy podcast, I believe, Four Teeth, I think it's called. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't listened to them at all. I don't think I've heard one of their songs. Vector, Terminal Redux. These guys are technical death metal from I don't know where. Songs about space, pretty much. Venom, black metal. Right there. Right there, one of the originators of extreme metal. Songs about Satan and goats and black metal. Recorded very primitively and sounds very harsh. The musicianship and the songs are very sparse, but they're heavy as fuck. Below that we have Vista Chino. This band is it's basically Caius without Josh Homme. So I don't know the names of like the other guys, but it's very desert rock, very, if you know Caius, it sounds very similar to that. Just kind of straight up groovy, kind of mellow hard rock stuff. Good for road trips. V&V Nation is a group, electronic group from Europe. I don't know exactly where. It's not usually the type of music I listen to. I saw these guys here in concert about a year ago, and it's like just straight up kind of EDM type music. Very life affirming, very positive. And another band I want to listen to more of. Weed Eater. I wonder what they're about. Album's called Godspeed and Good Luck and Goliathan. I really love Goliathan. I haven't listened to the first one, Godspeed and Good Luck, a lot. But their bass player, Dixie Dave, is legendary. He's quite a character. And I saw these guys live with Primitive Man. Hell of a show, very loud. The Who, Tommy, legendary classic rock band. If you know Pinball Wizard, the whole album is like a rock opera. It's pretty much essential if you like classic rock. Windhand, Soma, a band from England, I think. Yeah, Vista Chino, yeah. Melvin's is this Friday? No kidding. Holy shit, that come up fast. Like this week Friday, you're saying. Man, I think I'm working, but I'll do anything to like get out of work and see the Melvins. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah, Windhand is a doom metal band from England, I want to say. With a female singer, I think, too. So it sounds very ethereal, very beautiful. Musically, it's a lot like Weed Eater, I'd say. Just slow riffs, repetitive riffs, but not in a bad way, of course. Just to build the mood. And yeah, it's good times. Brian Wilson, Smile. Brian Wilson, I think, frontman of the Beach Boys. This is like one of his legendary solo records, but I haven't listened to this one yet, and I want to. I imagine it's a lot like the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. It's very orchestrated and musically interesting. Amy Winehouse, Frank and Back to Black. I've only got these albums after she passed away. And again, not really the type of music I listen to a lot, but it's just good kind of jazzy, vocal-driven pop stuff with a bit more lyrical depth than most other pop. Yeah. I really like them. I think they're from Boston, the singer told me. Oh, what band was that? Was that Windhand? You saw Windhand? No way. Okay, next column. 2 more columns in this pile, and then we go over there past the TV. That huge 2 stacks of CDs over there. But here at the top pile, we have Yes, the Yes album. One of my favorite bands again. Straight up progressive rock. Crazy instrumentation. Long ass songs about wizards and mountains and spaceships and trees. How the trees are talking to each other. One of my favorites. Then the Fragile, not the Fragile, but Fragile. Close to the Edge, Down by the River. Then we have another one of my favorite bands, Yob. The Illusion of Motion. The Unreal Never Lived, Clearing the Path to Ascend, and Our Raw Heart. Our Raw Heart was just released a few months ago after the frontman Mike Scheidt almost died. He had like a intestinal infection, and they almost weren't around anymore, but thankfully they are. After that, another one of my favorite singer-songwriters, Neil Young. I have a lot of Neil Young. I haven't bought Neil Young in a long time, but we have Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere. But focus again. There it is. After the Gold Rush. The song After the Gold Rush is one of my favorites, especially because of the plaintive French horn. It's just like the piano, French horn, and Neil Young's voice. And it reminds me of like smoking grass on Sunday morning, listening to the radio. And just chilling. Then we have Harvest, another classic album. Tonight's the Night. Zuma with the classic song Cortez the Killer. His compilation there, Decade. Then Rust Never Sleeps. Live Rust, Freedom, Ragged Glory, and Harvest Moon. So that's all my not Frank Zappa, but Neil Young there. When has from Virginia, an awesome opener for High on Fire. Really? They opened for High on Fire? No shit, man. No shit. Man, I really want to go for Melvin's now. Oh, you saw After the Gold Rush live? Dude. Was he playing like... I bet he was playing piano and harmonica at the time. Man, that would have been amazing. And then one of my one of the most prolific artists, and one of the or actually the artist of whose I have the most CDs I have are from this guy, is what I'm trying to say. Frankie Zappa. I think I have about a third of his discography. Just him and an organ for that song. Oh man, that would have been so cool to hear like a Hammond organ or something. Dude, I'm jealous. So we have for Frank Zappa, the first one, Freak Out, The Mothers of Invention, Absolutely Free, Lumpy Gravy, We're Only in It for the Money, Cruising with Ruben and the Jets, Uncle Meat, Hot Rats. Hot Rats, I think, is the first Frank Zappa album I ever got. Burnt Weenie Sandwich, Weasels Ripped My Flesh. Move Led Zeppelin over for a second now. I think that's Chunga's Revenge on top there. Take it out, check it out. Yeah, it's Chunga's Revenge. Below that, I can't fucking see. Let's move closer. Just another band from LA, I think it is. That must be it. Waka Jawaka, The Grand Wazoo, Overnight Sensation, one of my favorites as well. Apostrophe, Roxy, and Elsewhere. Oh my god. The first time I heard the 3-song suite of Village of the Sun, Echidna's Arf of You and Don't You Ever Watch That Thing, blew my mind. If you like progressive rock, if you like crazy instrumentation and songwriting and just wackiness, highly recommended. And then we have One Size Fits All. That's probably my favorite Frank Zappa album, One Size Fits All. Bongo Fury, Zoot Allures, Zappa in New York, Studio Tan, Sleep Dirt, Chic Your Booty. That's actually the first Zappa CD that I borrowed from my band teacher back in high school. Chic Your Booty. Then we have orchestral favorites, Joe's Garage, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, the London Symphony Orchestra Volumes 1 and 2, Just Call Guitar, Broadway, The Hard Way, Make a Jazz Noise Here, The Yellow Shark, Have I Offended Someone, The Best of Frank Zappa, it's called Strictly Commercial. And then we have Zappetite, Frank Zappa's Tastiest Treats. You love my Frankie, yeah. I have a lot of Frankie. Damn, I must have like 30 Frankie. And then a kind of mantric band, a 2-piece. They played here again about a year ago. And I was working the bar that they were working at, or they played at. But I didn't give the time. They're called Zom or Zom. If you know the band Ohm, they kind of sound like that. Very repetitive, meditative, atmospheric, riff-heavy, doomy drone stuff. Then ZZ Top, De Guelo. This one has, if I could lift it up. No, I can't. The pile is too high. It's got one of my favorite ZZ Top songs. I think it's called, if it's the right CD, if it's the red one, yes, Manic Mechanic. First time I heard that song was on LP, on a vinyl, and the heaviness blew my smoky mind. And here's my local pile of CDs that I've picked up at local shows over the years. We have Soul Hounds. This is, oh shit. There it is, right side up. It's like an emergency kit. It's got a 3-breasted warrior beast lady with, what is that, a green tiger? Band called 16 Eyes. I don't think they're around anymore. Some of the members of 16 Eyes went on to form Ramskull. And then what's this? Akina, my band, Cerulean Skies, opened, or yeah, we played a show with these guys a while ago. Apollo Suns. Then we have Attilan, same show as Akina, very crazy progressive rock. Black Wizard, New Waste. Then we have here a bunch of my band CDs. We have Cerulean Skies, Stagnation, Cerulean Skies, The Dream Journal, and not my band, different band, Dead Quiet. I think this one is just called Dead Quiet. I think Dead Quiet is from Vancouver, in the vein of bands like Black Sabbath. Just good straight up riff heavy rock. Then we have Dead Ranch, oh, legendary Winnipeg band. Sadly, one of their guitarists and singers passed away a bit more than a year ago, and it affected the whole community deeply. I know especially Storybook Gamer. It's very good, angry, punky noise sludge rock. Then we have Grand Master, prog band. Hazy Tones, another album I have listened to. Hollow Earth, I don't think they're from here, but they were on tour when I got that CD, so there it is. Inverted Serenity, the first one, Manifestation of Eternity in a World of Time, and their last one, As Spectres Wither. These guys are like crazy technical death metal. Good guys in the band too, very, very friendly guys. Then Mahogany Frog, kind of crazy electronic progressive rock. Occult Hand, haven't listened to this one yet, but I think it's like kind of hardcore sludge. Now they're mainly a band called Witch Trip, yeah, and they sound kind of the same. Below that we have The Peaches. Again, I haven't listened to that at all. And then The Psychics. This is a live CD, I think. Yeah, live at the Graffiti Gallery. One of my favorite local progressive bands, featuring one of my favorite local guitarists, Paige Drobot. She is a crazy guitarist who goes wild on stage, and I love watching her. And I was lucky enough to play in a Black Sabbath tribute band with her recently, and that was a lot of fun. Below that, we have Spine of Earth, featuring my friend Spencer on vocals and guitar. They're Winnipeg institution, I would say, straight up sludge, stoner, rock, and metal. After that, we have Tusk, Headroom, which is like alternative heavy rock, Votov, death metal, and Wilt, Ruin, atmospheric black metal. Now I'm going to go over to my two columns. It's almost over. Let's go right there. Here's where I stream. There's my TV. Here we go. So in this pile, we have Acid Bath, When the Kite String Pops. These guys are from New Orleans. Sludge band. Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue. This is the first album that they did with the new singer William Duvall after Lane Staley died. It's just straight up kind of grungy, sludgy rock and roll. Allman Brothers Band at Fillmore East, crazy southern rock jam band with lots of good instrumentation, lots of jamming, lots of improvisations. Then we have The Band, music from Big Pink, famous for the song The Weight. These guys are like classic rock, I would say, maybe a bit more folky classic rock. We have Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow, famous guitarist, very regarded as one of the best guitarists ever. Black Flag, Damaged, and My War, legendary hardcore band featuring Henry Rollins on vocals. And My War, especially side 2 of My War, is regarded as being influencing sludge metal and sludge rock. Speaking of sludge, Black Label Society featuring the almighty Zakk Wylde, Sonic Brew, and Mafia. Yeah, lots of pinch harmonics, lots of solos, lots of songs about drinking and bikes and Vikings and stuff like that. Below that, we have Blue Oyster Cult, Agents of Fortune, famous for the song Don't Fear the Reaper, classic rock stuff. Highly influential to the band Ghost. Very good stuff. Then another one of my favorite records, Boston, self-titled. Whole album is amazing. Classic rock stuff. Lots of lead guitar lines. Lots of psychedelic stuff. It's a trip to listen to. Below that, Captain Beefheart and his magic band, Choke Mask Replica, right there in the red. Look at the cover. Iconic cover. Look at that. He's like, that's 5. Kind of in the vein as Frank Zappa, like I guess earlier Zappa. I'm not too familiar with that album. It hasn't sunk in yet. Yeah, we did play with them. Yeah. Like Cerulean Skies, Board of Slaves, and the Psychics. Man, that was a good time. Captain Beyond, kind of psychedelic, heavy rock stuff. Whoa! Space rock stuff, very good. London Calling by The Clash. I'm not really into The Clash that much. I'm not a big fan of a lot of their songs, but I think this is like an essential CD to have. And then one of the few rap CDs I have, Dr. Dre. Yes. It's just a good time to like listen to it and put it on and sing along. Daft Punk, we have Homework, and one of my favorite albums as well, Random Access Memories. I prefer this one because it sounds more like live instruments. It just sounds like classic rock, funk, electronic stuff. It's really, really awesome. Highly recommended. We have Damage Plan, featuring the late Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul, formerly of Pantera. Look at that. Look at the jugs on that guy. The imaginary jugs. Yeah, this is the band that they were in after they broke up Pantera. And it sounds a lot like Pantera, but it's not, sadly. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. Another legendary jazz record, CD. It's just good to chill, put it on, and kind of zone out and take you on a journey. Deftones, we have Adrenaline, White Pony, and Diamond Eyes. It's interesting how they started off kind of lumped in the rap rock or new metal scene, but then slowly morphed into kind of dream metal, like dream pop, dream metal, with very ethereal vocals and kind of not sexy, but like, what's the word? Not romantic, chill. Like it's something you would put on if you're with a girl or something, as background music. We have Derek and the Dominoes, Layla. featuring the hit song. What's the song anyway? Oh yeah, what is it? Fucking Layla. Very good classic rock. It's featured in one of my favorite movies, Goodfellas. Al Di Meola, Elegant Gypsy. This guy's a crazy guitar player. It's like jazz fusion. Highly recommended if you play guitar and you want to hear something different. He's as fast as players like Zakk Wylde, but it's not like heavy metal. It's just like classic rock stuff, jazz fusion stuff, really good. And then same guy, Al Di Meola, but with two of his buddies. We have John McLaughlin and Paco de Lucia. This is a live album, Friday night in San Francisco. A lot of it is improvised, and you can tell that they have a lot of fun playing on stage because they play off each other and they improvise off each other. And they adapt and they react and they're apt. And I know I'm forgetting something if you watch The Office. Dio, Holy Diver. Holy smokes, what can I say about Dio? Great voice, one of the quintessential heavy metal singers. I think his quintessential album outside of Black Sabbath. Then we have, what is this? Dixie Dregs, Night of the Living Night of the Living Dregs. This is some more kind of jazz fusion stuff featuring, I think it's Steve Morse on guitar. If you're a fan of guitar playing and you want to hear something more, I would recommend that. Eagles, Hotel California. Classic rock stuff. I love the song Hotel California. I love the guitar solo. And the whole album is just like, it's good summertime music just to throw on to chill. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Tarkus! Yeah, that song, it's like 20 minutes and 35 seconds according to the liner notes here. Just a prog rock explosion of good times. How can it not be? It's an armadillo on a tank. You know, you're in for a ride there. The Fucking Champs. I think this is album number, it's called 3. There it is. It's like if Thin Lizzy were an instrumental band. And they had more riffs with a bit of like electronic stuff thrown in. That's what the Fucking Champs are like. Below that we have Fugazi, 13 songs. Legendary kind of post-punk influential band. Famous for the song Waiting Room. Yeah. And again, one band I want to listen to more of. I just haven't found the time. Below that. Oh yeah! Funkadelic. Here's some funk R&B stuff with some crazy guitar playing. This album features the song Maggot Brain, one of the best guitar solos in history. Really well guarded. Apparently the story is the guitar player was told by the producer to play the first half of the solo happy, and then play the second half as if his mom had just died. So the first half is very energetic and like happy sounding, and the second half is more somber as he would play because his mom just died. But she didn't really. It's just something the producer said to get him to play that way. Then below that we have Genesis, one of my favorite, again, progressive rock bands, with Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. Nursery Crime, Foxtrot, Selling England by the Pound right there, and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Yeah, it's just kind of like Yes, but more theatrical. Long songs. I think these guys are more, ostensibly British, singing about British stuff. But still very good. This is Goat Snake. I think these guys are from Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. Kind of sludgy riff rock stuff, I would say. Again, not too familiar with it. I haven't listened to it that much. Godspeed You Black Emperor. These guys are from Montreal. Amazing kind of post-rock, post-metal band with a lot of different instrumentation. They had a song on the 28 Days Later soundtrack, and I think that's where that song is from. That song is from this album too. Okay, let's see what's beyond that. Gojira, that's where that other Gojira CD is. I was looking for it yesterday. What is it called? L'Enfant Sauvage. I think it's translated to the Savage Infants. I could be wrong, though. I think this is my favorite of theirs. Very technical, kind of groovy metal. Very slick produced metal. It's good stuff. Gorguts. That's where the other Gorguts is too. I should just take these out and put them in the other pile. Gorguts, yeah. This one is the one I was talking about yesterday. It's called Colored Sands. This is their reunion CD that came out a few years ago. Crazy technical death metal. Good stuff. Here we have Graveyard. More riff heavy rock stuff. These guys called it quits really recently. Recently, and then got back together recently after that. Like, their breakup wasn't that long, which makes me wonder why they broke up in the first place. It's just like straight up heavy riff rock. Then we have Hawkwind, the band that Lemmy was in before he got fired and formed Motorhead. Space rock, psychedelic space rock. Very good stuff. We have Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath and everything but name. We have Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Vinny Appice on drums, and Ronnie James Dio on vocals instead of Ozzy. And they only called it Heaven and Hell because they didn't want to get it confused with Black Sabbath. But yeah, it's basically Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio singing. Very good stuff. Here, that's Graveyard. I should put the Heaven and Hell below that because it's in alphabetical order. Here we have... I'm going to go this way again and then go down instead of like going down all the way and then go here. So it's not in alphabetical order anymore. Here's some more rap. NWA. Nice guys with attitude. Straight out of Compton. Put that in the same category as Dr. Dre. Just good time party music. No Effects. We have Punk in Drublic and The Decline. The Decline, if I could say it properly, is like a 22-minute song about the decline of civilization. It's very interesting to hear a band like No Effects do a 22-minute song. The Offspring, Ixnay on the Hombre, which basically translates to Fuck the Man. This was one of the first bands that I really got into. I used to love this band back in high school, along with Green Day and the Foo Fighters. This album in particular, very strong memories of good times. Mike Oldfield, Tubular Bells. Oh man, this album blew my mind the first time I heard it. Basically 2 tracks, each about 20 minutes long, all written and composed and performed by one guy on like a 4-track or 8-track tape recorder. And the first theme in the first song, Tubular Bells, is the theme to The Exorcist. That's it. Tubular Bells. We have Om, Pilgrimage, featuring the previously mentioned Al Cisneros. Mantra Metal. Just like, put this on, close your eyes, and meditate. Very recommended. It's very recommended. Jaco Pastorius, a very famous bass player who I think passed away a while ago. Again, it's kind of like jazz fusion stuff. I'll show the cover here. There he is, Jaco Pastorius. I know he played in a band called Weather Report, and I know I have the Weather Report CD too. I just gotta find it. I think this is all instrumental too. We have Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever, and his greatest hits. I love Tom Petty. He's one of my favorite singer-songwriters. He has so many good songs, and it's the same category as like the Eagles, or actually no, I put it above the Eagles. It reminds me of San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and just like summer music. It's really awesome. It's a really shame that he died. Below that, Porcupine Tree, Fear of a Blank Planet, prog rock. I listened to this album a lot. I find it kind of cynical, because he sings a lot about like this. The singer, you can see my phone there. Hi. You can see or he sings about like teenage problems, and the guy's like 30 or 40. But it's not a bad album. The song "Anesthetize" has a bitchin' guitar solo right there. It's 17 minutes long. Has a bitchin' guitar solo by Alex Lifeson from Rush. Well, that reminds me, I got to go back and show you guys my Rush box set. Oh yeah, I missed that. Fuck, I got to go back and show you guys that. Okay, then we have Primate, Draw Back a Stump. This is kind of a super group or like a collaboration, of course, as most bands are, featuring Bill Kelleher from Mastodon and Kevin Sharp from the band Brutal Truth. These guys are like hardcore grind music. Very good. Probot, project orchestrated by Dave Grohl on Southern Lord Records, featuring, among others, Lemmy, Max Cavalera, Kronos, Mike Dean, Kurt Brecht, Lee Dorian, Wino, Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost, Snake, Eric Wagner, and King Diamond. So basically, he wrote the music to the song to match each singer's style. And it's a good kind of introduction into that style, to like the underground metal. And now this is one of the first CDs I ever bought of like underground stuff, and I'm glad I did. Rage Against the Machine. Very good funk metal stuff with cool guitar playing. You guys all know Rage Against the Machine. Rebel Meets Rebel. This is interesting. This is Dimebag Darrell, Vinnie Paul, and Rex Brown. So basically the rhythm section of Pantera and a country singer named David Allan Coe. So it sounds like an old country guy singing with heavy metal. And it's actually better than you might think. Very cool riffs, very cool solos, some cool instrumentation like violins, and it's got some like honky tonk moments, and not in a cheesy way though. It's very, very good. If you're a fan of any of those guys, highly recommended. We have Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Another very good, feel good summertime album with, it's just like a trip to listen to. It's very psychedelic, very funky, heavy at times. Yeah. Refused, The Shape of Punk to Come. This is kind of like, not, kind of post-punk, I guess. It's not punk, maybe some emo in there too. This is a legendary band, and I only got it because they're featured in Tony Hawk Underground, I think. The song New Noise. Return to Forever, Romantic Warrior. This is some more jazz fusion featuring, among others, I think Al Di Meola. Yeah, that's Al Di Meola right there. Blurry face, Al Di Meola. Jazz fusion, classic rock stuff. Reverend Bizarre in the Rectory of the Bizarre Reverend. This is straight up doom metal. Look at that cover. That's straight up Satan worshipping doom right there. I love it. After that we have, it's a Rolling Stone compilation. 80s metal. I only bought it because of that guy, Dr. Rock. So, where's that song? Yankee Rose. If you could zoom in and focus again. It's there. There it is. You saw it for half a second. Don't Hate Me. Royal Thunder. Yeah, I saw these guys really recently. Open, or not open, they played with a local band called Madeira and Pinkish Black. Very intense show, very, not private, but like, what's the word? Intimate, very intimate show, yeah. These guys are from the US somewhere. And they kind of changed sounds over the years. I think they're not as heavy as they used to be, but I still like this first album here. Back there. Joe Satriani, Surfing with the Alien. This is crazy guitar wankery virtuosity in a good way. If you like Yngwie Malmsteen, if you like Steve Vai, highly recommended. Then we have some short music for short people. Again, this is one of the first CDs I remember getting. This is a punk compilation on Fat Records. It's got 101 bands. Look at all the bands on the back there. Featuring such bands like Fizzy Bangers, Less Than Jake, Teen Idols, Green Day, some other Blink-182, Kill Switch, not Kill Switch Engage, just Kill Switch, Pennywise, Sick of It All, No Effects, The Muffs, Snuff, Poison Idea, Black Flag, Anti-Flag, White Flag. And the gimmick is like each band recorded like 30-second song. So that's why there's 101 bands on this compilation on one CD. So if you want something different, if you want even shorter punk songs, that's the one to get. Slint, Spiderland, legendary kind of indie rock, kind of noise rockish stuff, very influential. I guess the most famous song is Good Morning Captain. I think it was featured on a soundtrack to a movie, but I can't remember which one. Slough Feg, previously known as the Lord Weird Slough Feg. This is recent, it came out a few years ago, but it's traditional sounding heavy metal like Iron Maiden. Yeah, I love it. It's good stuff. Spinal Tap, the Black Album, None More Black. This is the soundtrack to This is Spinal Tap, featuring such hits as Big Bottom, Sex Farm, Stonehenge, Give Me Some Money. Then we have, this is the collaboration with Steven Wilson and Michael Ackerfeld. This is Storm Corrosion. I think the album is just self-titled. Yeah. It's kind of what you'd expect. Kind of progressive, weird, hard rock metal stuff. Strapping Young Lad with Devin Townsend, Gene Hoglan, Byron Stroud, and what's the last guy's name? The guitarist's name? Jed Murphy. That's it. Yeah, Strapping Young Lad as a band is not around anymore, but Devin Townsend is certainly still doing music in whatever genre he feels like. But this is like kind of satirical, technical death metal. Progressive technical death metal, yeah. With a sense of humor, with like a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor. Here we have, and the compilation, best of 1994 to 2006, the Chaos Years. And this has some music videos on the bonus DVD too. Sublime, some good summer music, kind of ska, reggae-ish. Good times. I'm going to go back to the first column. I'm going to sit down again. I'm going to move a chair out of the way. There we go. No, I don't want to end the stream. Here we go. Okay, where did I start up off on this side here? We saw Iron Maiden. No, I didn't really go into Iron Maiden. So I have The Number of the Beast. And then the two after that. I think I have Peace of Mind and Power Slave. Straight up good traditional heavy metal with energetic bass lines and twin guitar harmonies and singing about eagles and mountains and fighter planes, stuff like that. We have the compilation Be the Great. It's just like greatest hits. Jethro Tull, Mr. Tull. No, it's not a guy named Jethro Tull. It's the band named Jethro Tull. Aqualung, Sitting on a Park Bench. Da 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 da. One of my favorite albums. It's just explores the relationship between man and God, and yeah, it's just very fun to listen to. It's not like heavy metal, but it's still kind of sonically heavy. Here we have Thick as a Brick, again by Jethro Tull. This album's kind of funny because it has two tracks. I think originally on LP they all took up like one side of the LP, but they're both called Thick as a Brick. Yeah, look at that. Track 1, Thick as a Brick, 22 minutes. Track 2, Thick as a Brick, 21 minutes. What the hell, Mr. Tull? What the hell? Then another one of my favorite progressive rock bands, King Crimson. These guys are more kind of experimental and just kind of jazzy acid rock Whoa, whoa. Battery power 15%, just like last time. Wow. So we gotta hurry this up a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to make a part 3 for this. So we have In the Court of the Crimson King featuring the hit 21st Century Schizoid Man. The one after that is In the Wake of Poseidon, Lark's Tongues and Aspic. My favorite of theirs is Red. And then their comeback album in the 80s called Discipline. And this one is different. It's still King Crimson, but this one sounds more 80s electronic like. Kiss Alive 2. And then the best, in my opinion, out of the 4 solo albums, Ace Frehley. Every song is like better than a lot of what Kiss was doing in the late 70s. Fucking every song. Rip it out. You wanted it. So good, so good. Then compilation, The Very Best of Kiss. And then, let's get it back in there. We have some Korn. I saw these guys. I saw Korn and Kiss in like 2001, within a week of each other, when I had just started going to concerts at that time. So imagine seeing Korn for the Issues tour, and then Kiss within a week in a giant arena. That was awesome. And then, of course, at some point in the show, they had a giant figure as the doll here on the cover floating around the arena. And they were selling kind of miniature versions of the doll as merch. Very smart marketing strategy on their part. But I gotta hurry this up before my phone dies. Kvelertak. I think these guys are from Norway or Finland, somewhere in Scandinavia. Kvelertak. Yeah, these guys are like kind of death rock and roll. Yeah, I think the artwork is by John Baisley of Baroness too. Instantly recognizable. Here we have Kylesa, a sludge band from Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. They're not around anymore. But yeah, I saw these guys open for Mastodon in 2009 with Intronaut. Very good. I think they had 2 drummers at the time too. And here, one of my favorite bands, Caius, legendary desert rock, stoner rock from California. We have Blues for the Red Sun. Welcome to Sky Valley. And the Circus Town. Below that, we have some more rap. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. I really like this one. This is tells a story. I put this in the same category as Dr. Dre and NWA. Don't listen to it a lot, but there it is. And then we have Lord Dying, kind of sludgy death metal from somewhere. Yeah, Kylesa broke up, or like they're on a hiatus or something. They could be back together now, but I don't know. Then Lynyrd Skynyrd, the first one, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. Just really good, kind of southern rock album. I really like the song Simple Man, and everybody loves Freebird. Everybody knows Freebird, of course. Okay, back to the last column here. Where did I leave off? Sublime, Sun O, and Ulver. I think this is a split. We got Sun and Ulver, kind of more atmospheric drone. Supertramp, Crime of the Century, kind of proggy classic rock. The Taste of Chaos Ensemble performs Mastodon's Leviathan. So this is like Leviathan by Mastodon performed by a classical ensemble. Very interesting to listen to. Like they add more musically to the album that's not on the original. So if you're a fan of Mastodon or Leviathan, highly recommended. We have Them Crooked Vultures. This is a supergroup of the highest order. If there's one band you can call a supergroup, it's this one. We got Josh Homme on guitar and vocals. We have John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin on bass, and Dave Grohl, drummer for Nirvana, on drums. And Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, classic rock with like twin harmonies on guitar. Thumb, this should be on the local pile. This is a legendary local band, and I was lucky enough to play with the drummer in a different band. So it's kind of like it's Caius worship, basically. That's where they got the name from. Thumb is the name of a Caius song. Today's the Day. Relapse Records, Temple of the Morning Star. experimental noise rock, very angry, very dissonant, very loud. And they end the record with a cover of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Yeah, man. Next time you're over, I will lend you that CD, or we just listen to it. You really recommend. I really like it. And then the next Today's the Day in the Eyes of God. Same sound, but it's got Bron Daler and Bill Kelleher from Mastodon playing drums and bass respectively. Tombs. This is kind of deathy black metal sludge stuff. And then Tribes of Neuron. I should put that in the other pile too. The Alter Ego of Neurosis. Atmospheric. And this is meant to be played alongside Times of Grace. Put that right there for later. And then we have, CD given to me by a friend who was, he passed away recently. This is Edsel Tucker. It's Demon Banjo Death Cult and Ass Kickin' Banjo Pickin'. This is like Southern redneck hillbilly bluegrass banjo. Storybook Gamer, you would like this too. I should put this on. You might have listened to it once already. And I kind of feel like uploading this to YouTube because people, it's very satanic. It's very racist, as you can kind of tell. But it's funny. It's funny, yeah. Lots of samples, lots of like old school movie samples in that one. Steve Vai, Passion and Warfare. I have a feeling my phone's gonna die very soon, so I gotta speed this up. Guitar Mastery, Wankery Virtuoso. I think it's all instrumental. Vandergraaf Generator, God Bluff. Yeah, this is more classic rock, progressive rock stuff, kind of symphonic. Velvet Underground and Nico. This is with what's his name, Lou Reed, kind of one of the originators of kind of sleazy rock and roll. Then Andrew WK, I Get Wet. Look at that, party hard. What else we got? Weather Report. That's where it is. That's what I was talking about. Some more kind of jazz fusion featuring Jaco Pastorius on bass. Weezer, early 90s pop punk rock stuff featuring Buddy Holly, Undone the Sweater Song, My Name is Jonas. Very nostalgic listen. Then we have We Reach, the music of the Melvins. This is a Melvins tribute CD featuring bands like Mare, Dillinger Escape Plan, Mastodon, Strapping a Lad, Pig Destroyer, High on Fire, ISIS, I Hate God, Made Out of Babies. Yeah, very interesting. And then we have Speedy West and Jimmy Bryant. This is like instrumental. Can't tell by the cover. It's like ancient boogie woogie, stratosphere boogie, the flaming guitars. It's like bluegrass. That's the word. Ooh, I don't know about that one. Not into the redneck racist stuff, but today is the day. They were great live. Oh, you saw them live? That's right. They were here really recently. Yeah. Yeah, that Edsel Tucker, he was a character. I worked with him. And it's unfortunate what happened to him. And the last, oh shit, my phone's dying. Hank Williams, 20 Best. Greatest hits. So I'm going to cut it here before my phone dies. Thanks for watching. I was going to show my Rush collection, but it's just basically 3 CD box set of all the Rush albums. Thanks for watching. I'm going to turn the phone around again so you can see me. Ah, there I am. Hi. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with something else. Nema.